PWCC is a great way to sell your sports cards. If you're looking for a way to support the Cajun Cardboard YouTube channel, consider using the promo code Cajun, all caps, CAJUN, when you're selling your cards on the PWCC marketplace. Oh gosh, I'm live. Okay, so I'm live early. I don't do very many of these, and I haven't done one of these in a really long time. I wish there was a way I could figure out how to make it live on Instagram as well. I know it's easy because I know Chris and Josh and those guys do it, but I don't know. Gosh, I clicked the live button already, so don't use any cuss words and don't call me names. Like I do on the code.
Damn it!
Yeah. But I hit live early. I didn't want to rush you, so I was gonna chat. We got two people in here already. I was gonna kind of chat with you or chat with people until you jumped on. But
sure, man.
You know how we do it. Everything's unscripted. So
Completely.
Yeah, completely, exactly. You are what I would call a cardboard connoisseur, right? What does your shirt say?
That's right.
That is correct.
It wasn't intentional. I actually just wore this all day. So.
No, I can vouch for you. You definitely fit the description of a cardboard connoisseur. Let me make sure I've got the deal where, okay. So I want to make sure the comments show up. I guess if they're terrible, I don't have to click them. I forgot. Great time zone for Australia, 9 a.m. So I thought you would jump on live. Welcome, Craig. If this is the Craig that I think it is, wow, what a collector he is. Kobe, Shaq, MJ stuff. Welcome to the channel. Great collector down in Australia, Josh. I think this is the one and only Craig that I am familiar with. So awesome. You got to meet at the next national. Craig, you got to get up to the national and make sure you meet Josh.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's the right Craig. He confirmed I'm the right Craig. I'm the real Craig. Yes, you are the real Craig. Craig's had some issues with PSA lately. Craig's not been happy with PSA lately. I've been watching on Instagram. Josh, let's just chat a little bit about just generally what you're seeing in the Jordan card market before we get into our itinerary. I have an itinerary, and we'll wait, and I'll share it with everybody once we get a few more people in here, a little bit after 6 o'clock, but 6 o'clock Central, sorry. Tell me, what are you seeing? Like, generally speaking, first of all, what's that big, giant, big man on court thing behind you? You better walk back there and go get that.
All right. There's a couple things I got back here.
What is happening?
It's like a photo mosaic. It's made up of little pictures of Jordan.
What? Hold on. Where did you get that?
I got it from Wow Sports Cards locally. This is a stained glass, but it just looks like stained glass. But when you put it in the light, it looks like stained glass, as you can see.
Yes, it does. It also looks like it's embossed.
It's not. It's flat, but it's now I got a LeBron one just to go along with it. But
yeah.
No, the people at Wow do these. They're really inexpensive, like $15-$20. But
yeah,
they're just fun.
That big man on court thing's awesome. It's a bunch of little Jordan cards that are kind of those colors that make it look
make up a Jordan picture.
Oh, that's filthy. That is awesome. Yeah, we gotta figure out how to get me one of those. I gotta get one of those up here in my office. My office, if you could see what's happening in here, it is. I'm a real estate attorney, so when you walk into real estate attorneys' offices, mostly you see law books, right? People used to use law books. By the way, when I started as an attorney 24 years ago, everybody had books. There was actually law libraries in law firms that I clerked for and that I worked for. And now, of course, you don't use books. Everything's online, right? You can find your,
right.
statute or your code article or whatever you want to call it, your law in, seconds. But back then there was actually books. So we had to, law libraries were massive because, the laws are always changing and they're always adding new laws. And so out with the old, in with the new. So they get rid of old books, bring in new books, and then they revise them. And out with those, then in with another. And that's all changed. But my office, you don't see very many law books because it's 2024, but also because it's filled with raw Michael Jordan cards and raw cards from the 90s that I'm trying to liquidate. I'm trying to get rid of the last of the cross-country collection cards. And it's really hard to price these. You and I talked about it, and you're like, I might be interested. And I'm like, you're like, can you send pictures? I'm like, Josh, it's literally 10,000 cards. I was like, what? 25 pictures is a drop of water in the ocean. You know what I mean? You ever have don't you hate selling raw cards?
Yeah, I mean it's difficult because you don't know what grade they are. They don't, obviously if you're not grading them, there's a reason why you're not grading them. So
yeah, that's it.
It's a bad card.
Right? I'm not like trying to get over on anybody. I don't have any secrets. Like, these are the cards. This is what's left over, and these are all cards I decided not to grade. Now that doesn't mean I don't have hundreds of PSA 10s in here. It just means that. In fact, I can guarantee you there's hundreds of PSA 10s in here. If you graded these 2,000 cards, you're going to get 100 PSA 10s. But these are some cards that doesn't make any sense to grade a PSA 10. It might be a $49 card. A PSA 9 might be a $3 card. So it was a risk that I wasn't willing to take. Man, I tell you what, I took a deep breath after that collection, after I curated that collection. I know you've bought collections before and kind of worked your way through them, sold what you wanted, kept what you wanted. Dude, this was a bear, man. It was a lot of fun, Josh, but it was a lot of work, and I needed some time off, and I took some time off. And as you can tell, without the aid of any energy drinks, I am rejuvenated and excited about the hobby, and I am ready to push towards Cleveland, man. I am pumped about Cleveland.
Yeah, I think to your comment, I'm going to go with a very low budget, but I'm looking forward to it. For me, it's a social networking event. It's fun to see friends. It's fun to see people from all over, and I don't think it's where I'm going to find all my my cards, but it's
That's right. Well, there's only a few you don't have, so that's your problem. Your problem is you got too many cards, and if you had as many cards as me, there'd be plenty of cards for you to get. Or you could just open up Pandora's box like I did and start collecting soccer cards or football cards for those of us in other countries that are watching the live stream. 9 people in here. That's pretty good for 5:54. We're still 6 minutes early. What's the last card you bought? The very last card you bought. Talk to me. Talk us through it. It's a patch card, obviously. Wizards patch card, playing years.
It's a game worn. It's from 2002. Doesn't fit in a hierarchy, but it's a number to 100. Hard to get in a 10. So Wizards, just thought it was cool. Picked it up on eBay.
Would you have bought it if it was a PSA 9?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't have it, so it's that's for me. Looking at the set registry versus the hierarchy, fills a hole.
Yeah, that's a card that's in your set registry, Chase, in your competition. Where are you at? You still second?
Yeah.
And that's the super list, is what it's called. Super
master and super set. Yeah, both
master and super set. The super set is everything, every Jordan card, or they try to encompass every Jordan card. And the master is what?
Playing years only. So you jump from 98 to 2001. Yeah, so it ends, I think, in 2003, and then so 2007, 2021. I bought a card 2023, like a brand new card.
Yeah,
like this kind of crap.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fun. They're refractors. Like they're cool looking, but they're not Bulls unis. They're not. They're nothing special. They're brand new cards, but it's still part of the super set. So
we're in the presence of greatness. The great Jeff Hart has joined the channel. Patriot Sports Cards, Josh. He's smarter than us. He collects the vintage stuff, man. He doesn't even just collect vintage stuff. He's got to get autographs on vintage stuff. Before autographed vintage cards, they don't even exist. But he's in a niche upon a niche upon a niche. And he's drawn a tight circle around his recently what he's chasing. So Jeff is an awesome collector. He's got a lot of explaining to do. Every time he comes on my channel, I feel like a freaking kindergartner because I'm asking the dumbest questions. But he's a wealth of knowledge when it comes to the vintage stuff for sure. And Jeff, I look forward to seeing you in Cleveland in a couple of let's see, a little over a month. A little over a month. Josh, you don't ever feel overwhelmed that you're like, the criteria that I've created for what I collect, while it does change here and there, like I'm the one changing it. The criteria for what you collect is constantly not just evolving, it's growing. It's never shrinking. It's only growing. You don't ever feel like, I don't want to say, maybe not anxiety, but like pressure to keep up because Metal Universe comes out. Well, they got this new,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not focused as much on the brand new stuff. I mean, I bought maybe 2 or 3 new cards, but for the most part, I mean, I try to fill holes on the, as you know, 1998 Upper Deck is a monster in and of itself. It has 30 different sets that are all just Jordan, and they're numbered to 30 or 100 or whatever. And so there's a ton there that I still have to plug holes into. And there's lots of variations like Black Diamond, Double Diamond, Triple Diamond, Quadruple Diamond, right? All that crap. So there's a lot of cards I'm missing. I picked up those, but I still dabble in LeBron. I still dabble in Ken Griffey Jr. I still, I picked up a Mike Piazza card the other day. So I kind of steer out of my lane once in a while too.
Best hitting catcher of all time, Mike Piazza, true or false?
What's that?
Is best hitting catcher of all time, all things considered?
Yeah.
Average in power? I think he is, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. As a kid, I was brainwashed because I lived in Louisville, so our team was the Cincinnati Reds. I was brainwashed into this Johnny Bench deal, like Johnny Bench.
Johnny Benches. I met Johnny Bench, yeah.
Hey,
I don't know.
It ain't even close. Go look at Piazza. Now he played in a different era, right? People
I know, yeah.
In the in the steroid era and whatnot, but like, damn, I was brainwashed. All right, we're getting off track. Brian Z, I'm not going to try to pronounce it because I'm from Louisiana. Do you guys feel like 9s are undervalued compared to 10s, specifically when talking about 90s basketball? I ask because some 9s look flawless and some 10s look like 8s. Josh, you go first. I would just change the question. I don't think 9s are undervalued compared to 10s. I think, and this is hard coming from somebody like us, right? We're grade snobs too. I think PSA 10s it's an exorbitant, unfounded premium right now. We won't say what's overvalued, what's undervalued, but I will say this, that ratio, that gap, Josh, I think it's too big. I think something's got to happen. 10's got to come back or 9s have got to race. Something has to happen because
I think it's it's easy to say the 10s are going to come down, but the pops are low. They're not going to increase. So I think it's one of those, rising tide lifts all ships. I think the 8s and 9s are going to follow suit. And I think there's going to become, right now, the difference between an 8 and a 9 is very small compared to a 9 and a 10.
That's correct.
I don't think the 9-10 disparity is going to change. I think the 8-9 disparity is going to change.
Think so?
Yeah, I think you're going to see separations between 8 and 9 because a 9 is truly mint. It is the closest you can get to a 10, and I'm specifically talking about PSA slabs, right? I think 8s and 9s to you and I mean, what's the difference, right? It's almost like that, but there should be quite a big difference. If a 10 and a 9 are so different,
one would think
that an 8 and a 10, so I don't mind picking up 8s at all. In fact, all of my vintage, since we were talking about vintages a minute ago, everything is in an 8. That's my grade.
Yeah. I love the PSA 8s and 7s for vintage. I really do. I don't collect it, but that would be like, it's coming, right? There's a time Jeff Hart's over there salivating. He's like, yes, come on, join the dark side. I'm going to collect vintage at some point. And when I do, I think 7s is probably going to be the number for me. That would be my, price point du jour. I'm with you. Here's the deal. For the 8 and 9 gap to widen, that means either 8's got to drop or 9's got to grow. And if 9's grow, it's going to close the gap on 10's unless 10's continue to grow. So I don't know, man. I'm not a macroeconomist. I look at this stuff every day, Josh. I can't figure out what's going on. We're going to talk about some of the crazy 10 sales. I've got a few here, and I've got an itinerary ready. I guess we can share it. It's 6:01. We got 17 people in here. It's awesome. 1 minute into the live stream. So thank you guys for joining us. We'll see what it grows to. I don't know. I don't do live streams very often. These are very unscripted. I did my best to create an itinerary. Josh, I've started to stay on Brian Z's question and Craig's point. I started to pick up some PSA 9 placeholders, Josh, because the PSA 10 price to me, I refuse to go there. Like a full court trap PSA 10. Did you see that sale? We're going to talk about it in a second. Scoring Kings Plus, a 96 Scoring Kings Plus price came out, and I was blown away, Josh. I was like, man, I'll buy.
Some of them are getting kind of astronomical. Yes. But I think it's also, a supply and demand issue, right?
I know, Josh. I know, but at some point, you got to put the cards together and you got to say, I can have a 10 or I can have 20.
A 9 and a bunch of cash.
I mean, I get it, but come on, man. And you and I both know I just got done with 1,500 cards, over 1,000 Jordans that I sent from that cross-country collection. And I sent cards I knew were going to get 9s. They got 10s. I sent cards that I knew were 10s. They got 8s. I went through it. It's tough, man. I'm not going to sit here and bag on grading because anybody can click record and just start bitching about grading, right? Because it is inconsistent, but it should be inconsistent. We're human beings. It's the same reason Jason Tatum is, a top 5 player in the league some nights, and then some nights he's a top 30 player in the league. He's a human being, right? You can't be perfect every time. It just varies from game to game. Graders the same way, and it's just different graders with different perspectives. I get it. So let me talk through the itinerary, Josh. You ready? And I gave you just a little quick rundown. First, we're going to look at this the 2 recent PMG Red sales. Believe it or not, 2 PMG Red Jordans, original PMGs, 97 PMGs sold. We're going to look at the Star PSA 9 sale for $925,000 that was brokered by Acquire. You're laughing already. Then, to be fair to the Star people, we're going to be fair to the Fleer lovers. We're going to talk about the 86 Fleer PSA 10 sale that actually just happened for another astronomical number, Josh, $292,000. Then we'll talk. I want to get your opinion on 2 Tier 1 cards and which one you would choose. They both recently sold in a very, very close, battle for price. Is the Ultra Stars Gold on the decline? And if it is, why is it? We're going to look at some data on that. I'm going to get your thoughts on that card. That's a Tier 1 hierarchy card. We're going to talk about the Scoring Kings Plus PSA 10 sale. We're going to talk about the 96 Thrill Seekers PSA 10 sale, which you and I were aghast at, and I think a lot of people just sort of overlooked it and didn't notice it. We're going to talk about the Nut Job Full Court Trap PSA 10 sale the other day. I've reached out to some of the usual suspects, and all of them deny liability for that purchase price. Then we're going to talk about what cards from the hierarchy you've added, or what cards generally you've added, Jordan cards, and then what cards I've added since our last episode. Obviously, as always, I'm going to have a longer list of cards I've added than you because you don't have very many cards left to add, and I've got a lot of cards left to add.
Yeah, my list isn't long.
Your list ain't long. Mine is pretty long, but it'll be fun. We'll go through it real quick. But the first thing I wanted to do is I just wanted to remind everybody, and let me go to screen share here, get this right. Here we go. All right, so screen share here. This is the hierarchy. So if you're new to all this and you don't know what the hell we're talking about, with the help of Josh, and you can see Northeast Sports Cards is Josh. You can find him on Instagram at Northeast Sports Cards. I've got his name on this thing because it might have been my idea, but it never would have come to fruition without Josh. And Josh was there every single inch, every second of every episode along the way. There's a bazillion million episodes on YouTube. It's in the playlist, Cajun Cardboard's Michael Jordan Hierarchy. Josh joins me for every single episode. What it is, it's a graphical illustration of Michael Jordan cards within a certain criteria. It's not every single Jordan card. It's no patches, no autographs, no Wizards, no post-1999. What else? No cards from the 80s other than the rookies or pre-rookie cards. What am I forgetting, Josh? There's a couple of special rules.
No non-sports, right? I mean, non-basketball.
No baseball. Yep. No baseball, no autographs, no foreign, except one maybe. So this is a poster. There's actually a poster that goes with it. This is what it looks like. You can see there's 4 tiers. I think I always get this number wrong. I think it's 378 cards, Josh, in the Michael Jordan Cajun Cardboard Hierarchy project. You can see it was, PWCC was a big part of this. Homage is another one of my sponsors for the channel, although I can't sell t-shirts for shit, even though I'm wearing one right here, one of these NBA Jam shirts made by Homage. You guys go buy some Homage t-shirts, use the affiliate link. And then I've got QR codes at the bottom of the front of the poster down here. If you're selling on PWCC, use the promo code Cajun. If you're buying, I've got an affiliate link. There's a QR code for it right there. The other thing I wanted to show you is the back, and this is the cool part, and this is where Josh really leaned in heavy, and we helped each other double check our math, right? So one of the largest pack odds lists in the history of mankind, I think I can say that safely, dating back to the Stone Age. That is a massive pack odds list. It tells you what every card is that you see on the front, what it's called, what year it is, what box you find it in, and what your pack odds are. There are some considerations. I want everybody to understand this is not me or Josh or anybody telling you how to collect or what to collect. It is simply one man's effort to help people that are new to the Michael Jordan world of collecting transition into it. I didn't want there to be any barrier to entry. I didn't want anybody to have fear or anxiety or be overwhelmed with getting into it. Because I felt some of that stuff when I got into it about 4 years ago. So hopefully this kind of helps people transition into it and gives them a graphical illustration. And then there's a bunch of stuff about what it does not include. So don't send me hate mail or mean, nasty messages saying, you're an idiot. The game jersey autograph is great. And I'm like, I know it's great. It's just not part of the hierarchy project, man. Just deal with it. Okay. So that's that. That was our itinerary. Let's see what else we got. Broder, what's up? Yep, fellow chat members. Hey, Broder, welcome. Like the t-shirt. Yep, the t-shirt's awesome. Homage makes great t-shirts. All right, let's get back to it. Josh, let's start with this. Let's start with the, and I've got it pulled up right here. Let's start with the PMG Red situation here, okay? This is what we had, Josh. On Mile High, on April 14th, we had a $303,000 sale of this card right here, a PSA 5. Yep. Have you ever bought anything or sold anything on Mile High?
No.
I don't want to sound rude here. Is there a reason somebody would sell a card on Mile High instead of Golden or PWCC? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a PWCC guy, so look, I have a dog in this.
I would think after those two, Heritage would be the next stop, right?
Heritage might be the next stop. I know there's Mile High. I know there's Robert Edwards.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, but yeah, I get their magazines. I think they do beautiful work. No discredit there. It's just, I wouldn't think of them for Michael Jordan inserts.
Yeah. It's funny how Michael Jordan sort of gravitated to a couple. And then, of course, we can't leave out our friend Josh Adams, the other Josh, the fake Josh, JV Josh, junior varsity Josh Adams. I'm just kidding, Josh. Midwest Vintage Cards. He runs 90sauctions.com with John up in the Chicago area, and they do a great job as well with some awesome 90s stuff, not just basketball, but baseball.
Just bought a card last week.
Yeah, there you go. It's a great place to go find some niche cards, man. I'll tell you that. So the PSA 5 Red sold for $303. About a month and a half later, on June 1st, that's about 9 days ago, a BGS 8 copy right here sells for $298. BGS 8 versus PSA 5, PMG Reds. Any thoughts on where PMG Reds are right now? Do you have a PMG Red? I can't remember.
I do not have this. That disparity between PSA and BGS just seems to keep growing.
Yeah,
just keeps. I mean, I know BGS has taken a big dip, right? The labels just, it used to be a 9.5 and a 10 were they identical, maybe even more valuable than a 10. Now, I mean, what do you compare a 9.5 to? A PSA 8, 9? It just depends on the card, but it's definitely a little bit of a stigma to it, like it or not. And I have plenty of BGS cards, and there's nothing wrong with them. It's where we are.
Yep. I mean, I expected these cards to sell for pretty close to similar values. The one thing I'll say about this particular card that does matter, whether you would like to admit it or not, and whether you're an artistic fella or not, I'm not, the red label matters. The red label matters. I don't know what else to say. And it doesn't help that recently we had this issue with some dude took a marker and colored a base Metal Universe and turned it into a PMG Red, and Beckett slabbed it authentic altered, but didn't label it a red PMG. And now everybody's like, we don't know what's going on with that. I don't pay attention to drama stuff like that. But as we continue into the hobby, I think PSA's reputation for at least for their buyback, money back guarantee deal becomes a really big deal on really big cards from a really long time ago. Is that fair?
The guarantee definitely adds up, right? It matters. Yeah.
In PMGs, I know for a fact it's usually about a 2 to a 2.5 disparity. If it's a BGS 8, it's a PSA 5.5. If it's a BGS 8.5, it's PSA 6. It's just the way it usually works, man. So that's your PMG Reds there. Anybody in the live chat have any thoughts on that? BGS 10 sell the same as a P? Yeah, you might see a BGS.
That's absolutely true, Craig. Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so moving on. Topic number 2 was the Star PSA 9 sale. What Star PSA 9 sale? Well, it's this insanity right here. There it is, $925,000. This was a private sale brokered by Jesse, Craig, and Brock with Acquire, which is a what would you call them? A middleman, a broker, a card broker? Card broker, yeah. Two friends of ours and two people we think very, very highly of.
Yeah.
So there's no. Hey, they didn't really get paid. that got paid. There is no doubt about that because Jesse's not a BS guy, right? What he says happened.
Yep.
The question is, why did it get paid? Why did the card, and when I say the same card, there's a PSA 9 Pop 3. We let's just get this out of the way. Incredible card, insane card. I agree it should be worth more than a PSA 10 86 Fleer. So this is not a star versus Fleer. This is a question for you is, why does a card that sold for $444,000 in September of 2022 sell for 108% more? Not just the same grade, the exact same card with the exact same PSA label sell for 108%. That's 2x in my book. Less than about a year and a half later. I don't understand that. Let me just tell you my theory, and you could tell me if my theory I know is correct. I think when the 444 sold, we thought there'd be a lot more PSA 9s, right? I did. There's still 3. I think people thought there'd be 12 to 15. There's 3. And so that would lead to one to conclude, well, if in these last 2 years where PSA opened the doors to grade this damn card, and there hasn't been very many done, then maybe there's not going to be many for the next 5 or 10 years, right? Maybe that's the thinking. But here's what I'll tell you. Now that it's sold for $925,000, we've got, everybody and their grandma who owns a BGS 9 or even a BGS 9, a BGS 9, BGS 8.5. Why not run it up the flagpole and see if you can have $1 million card, right? So we may see more added to the pop report. I don't know, Josh. What do you think? I still think 500 grand more. That's a huge jump.
Everything else that sold at that point in time in 2022 was during the peak, right? And and most things are down since the peak. Yep. I mean, you look at any Kobe card on the planet, it's down tremendously, right? Maybe some of the rare Jordan inserts are coming back in a big way, but the peak was the peak, and this was not the peak. It's a quite opposite. This is one of the few cards that has doubled since the peak, and I don't understand why exactly. Yeah. I mean, you'd think that at some point the pop can only grow; it can't go down, right? So the downside's better than the upside, in my opinion. But
here's the deal. Look at the PSA 8, Josh. PSA 8's down 27%. It's a pop 25. That's a pretty freaking special card, okay? I mean, that's a freaking big card. It's down 27%. But the PSA 9 is up 100%. I understand it's a pop 3 versus a pop 25. And I did expect that even though 2022 was closer to the peak, it wasn't 21 was perfect peak. 22 cards were higher than 24, even Jordan cards for the most part, not all. Yeah. There's some PSA 10 exceptions we're about to look at, but I thought that it would sell for more than 444, Josh. I just didn't think it would double. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Can't really explain this one. $500,000 swing.
So Jeff brings up the next question. This was my very next question is, so does rising tides lift all boats, as old people like us like to say? Yep. Does that mean, oh my gosh, you know how we do it, right? This is how the hobby does it, depending on if you own the card or not. If PSA 9 went for this, a PSA 8 pop 25 should sell for fill in the blank, 211,000. Are we going to see the next PSA 8 sell for 165,000? Is it going to jump 100%? I don't know. The last one sold on March 30th, 2024. It's been a bit since an 8 has sold, Josh.
The thing is, there's a lot of raw copies still to be graded.
In bags?
Either in bags or in BGS holders, just because the pop's so low on PSA doesn't mean the cards aren't out there.
Yep.
I just think the downside is better than the upside. If I had a BGS 9 or a PSA 8, I'd think about selling it right now, with this 9 sale, because I just think in a year or two, I just can't imagine it going up further.
Yep. No doubt about it. Look at this PSA 7. Recently, there was a PWCC Eye Appeal sticker. This was, 8 days ago, sold for $50,000. That's the highest price in the last 2 years by an insane margin. You can ignore the 75% growth rate because that's an anomaly, right? If you take that out, the card was actually as flat gets over the last 2 years with 38 sales. So PSA 7 flat, PSA 8 significantly down, I would say, right? And PSA 9, 100% up. I don't know what to make of it. Somebody else discuss it. Y'all can figure it out. Let's see what some of these guys on the live stream say. I think the PSA 9 are all owned by the same guy now. 2 of them were for sure. There's only 3 of them. Jess Carn, I don't know. You know more about it than me. Do you think PSA 9s will be more than BGS 9.5s? I've seen some sales that seem to indicate they will. Yes. Dan, are you talking about the Star, or are you talking about just cards in general? Those are both great questions. Do you think most of the high eye appeal for the grade BGS examples have mostly been crossed over? That's the question. Here's the question. I've talked about it on my channel, Josh. Josh, if somebody had 7 BGS Star cards and they cracked them and or just sent them to PSA to cross over, do you think they took them out of the BGS pop report? What are the odds? It's unlikely.
No. How would they know?
You've got a BGS pop report that is inflated. You've got a PSA pop report that is presumably accurate, except for PSA cracks and PSA resubs, right? PSA to PSA crack and resubs, of course.
Yeah.
So you're it's almost doing a disservice to all those Star people who love to make the argument it's much more rare. It's much more rare. It's much more rare. Well, it's actually even more rare than the pop report indicates now, because you've got all these empty BGS cases that have been cracked that are showing up in the pop report. It's almost like BGS is the buy right now. If I was going to buy, BGS would be the buy for me, But again, you got the red.
You don't own this card?
I do not own this card. I am in the process, and I'll let the cat out of the bag. I mentioned it, and I posted it on Instagram. I was trying to collect the entire Star Jordan run, which I think is 25 or 26 cards, the licensed ones, in BGS 8.5. And the price of the original 3 from 84 got away from me. I'm not paying that. I'm not doing that. I'm just not. And so I decided to sell them all. So every single one of my Star BGS 8.5s are in this week's PWCC weekly auction. How's that for a sales promo? 18 BGS 8.5 Jordan Star cards, all for sale. If you want to make 18, you can have all 18 of them. Somebody go out there and buy them all. And use the Cajun Cardboard affiliate link, of course. So I'm going to take that money, Josh, and I'm going to walk the floor with you in Cleveland, and you and me are both going to buy a Star 101 in Cleveland. You're going to do it. I'm going to do it. We're going to buy them together. We're going to take a nerdy picture with both of us holding up our Star cards. You can pay the premium and buy your PSA 9 because you're deep pockets, and I'll buy like a BGS 6 or something like that.
Yeah, no. I don't know that, but I do have quite a few of the Star cards. I just got them when they were, really, really inexpensive, and I got them in 9.5s. But, that's the Crunch and Munch and some of those ones, the Gatorade. But I don't even think PSA even grades all of those. So.
Josh, I know my answer to this question. It's a one-word answer. What's your outlook on Jordan stuff? Let's say Jordan inserts and parallels, MB. Let's change your question to Jordan inserts and parallels, hierarchy type inserts and parallels from the 90s. Do you think it will see decent growth, PSA 8s and 9s he's talking about, over the long term, or relatively low growth?
Low growth.
PSA 8s, low growth, depending on the card. Obviously, if you're talking about rubies, platinums, legacies, Ultra Stars, golds, I think those could have great growth over long term. PSA 9.
It's not fair to bucketize, right?
It's a tough question. It's a tough question to answer. I think PSA. I'll be honest with you. I'm a grade snob. I'm a self-admitted grade snob. I love BGS 9.5s and PSA 10s. The grades to buy right now, and I should not say this on my channel because this is the waters that I'm swimming in. I think the grades to buy right now, personally, BGS 9.5 Min Gem, PSA 9. That's what I'm doing right now to fill my hierarchy. Like, I'm collecting alongside the hierarchy almost as though it were a checklist. That's what I'm doing. I know a couple other people are doing that. I'm not saying it's the way or the right way. It's a way to collect Michael Jordan cards. That's what I'm doing. Those 2 grades are the grades that I'm doing right now. If a PSA 10 came along and it was 1.5, the BGS 9.5 price, I'll buy it. But if it's 11 times a BGS 9.5 price, I just refuse to play that game. I will not do that.
I'm kind of in the, if it's under $1,000 in a PSA 10, I'll go for the 10. That's kind of where I set my threshold. If it's a $10,000 card, I'm happy in the 9.
I will pay a huge premium for a PSA 10 if it's a $1,200 card. I'm not paying $13,000 for a full court trap PSA 10.
Nope.
Spoiler alert. We're about to get to that in just a second.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that answers your question, MB. It's a little nuanced. We got to be more specific about which cards we're talking about. Can you imagine how many crossover requests PSA will be getting over the next 6 months, sending in a BGS 9.5 slab with a minimum crossover request of 10? I heard the crossover rate is 10%. Well, let's be clear. There's 3 BGS 9.5 star 101s, so there's not going to be any being sent to crossover.
Not for that. I mean,
unless you're talking about just cards.
Yes, for the 101, no.
Yeah, Craig might be talking about cards in general. Craig, I think it's hard to apply. Yeah, he's saying not just Jordan, all 90s rare inserts. Yeah, Craig, you're seeing it. I agree, Craig. 9s and BGS 9.5s, I think we will see a lot of them submitted to crossover as the margin for PSA 10s continues to grow. I really thought that over the last 2 years, the margin between PSA 10 and BGS 9.5 would actually shrink because I thought it was too big already. It's not. It's growing. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
It's continuing to grow. I guess as BGS is out of sight, out of mind, and PSA is more at the top of mind, especially for new collectors, Josh. I mean, PSA is murdering BGS on anything, post the year 2003 for sure. It's PSA or bust. That's just the way people are collecting. They don't know any other 3-letter names.
I don't have the graphic, but you saw how many cards are being graded by each company, and PSA was so ridiculous.
And I think every single company was going up except BGS. I think CGC was even going up. PSA is going up. People are grading cards. There's some real positive momentum. In the hobby. Yeah, Craig, I saw that Black Shaq All-Stars PSA 9. What the hell, man? It's a PSA 9. It's also kind of an obscure Shaq card. It wasn't even really a big Shaq card. How about this guy? Listen to this. Josh, did you see the Noise Boys Black Diamond on PWCC? That shit is insane. Josh, what kind of an idiot would sell Noise Boys with a Black Diamond?
That'd be this guy.
Yeah. Jaskar, Josh is the seller / consigner of that card. It's complicated. He has another PSA 10 copy. Can I share this, Josh? Is this fair?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. He has another PSA 10 copy. The NBA Black Diamond sticker carries an incredible premium. I think I can safely say Josh made the calculated, logical decision, sell the black for what's going to quite certainly be an all-time record, probably over $40,000 on the PWCC Premier, and then keep the other copy, take the difference between those two cards, and then reinvest it into some Jordan cards, Griffey cards, or LeBron cards that Josh doesn't already own.
Yeah, and I didn't have 2 copies. I had the one when I got the black label, which is like one of only 2 cards I got the NBA black label on. I decided that, the premium was too good just to keep it in the safe. So I found another PSA 10 copy and then decided to sell the black.
It's a no risk. I mean, the only risk is if the black NBA sticker doesn't do well. That's not really a risk.
Yeah, I was like, the very worst that can happen is I break even. I gave up a black for a regular.
Yeah.
But I still, need that PSA 10 in my PC and in my set registry. So that was a big and shout out to Jesse for helping me with all of that. So
MB states he was thinking about hierarchy tier 3 and 4 cards and PSA 8 and PSA 9s, more obtainable type cards for us little fish. Dude, I love it. MB, I'm doing the same thing. I'm about to show you the cards that I picked up. A lot of these cards are going to be tier 3, tier 4, PSA 9s, and some PSA 8s. That I'm picking up to fill my collection, and that's the way I collect. Here's the deal, MB. Is there a safer place in the hobby? You can even go outside of basketball, all sports. Is there a safer buy than 90s Jordan cards, regardless of the grade, as long as they're real? You may not retire, right? You may not have an Epstein Island one day. God forbid you do, but, is there a safer place to put your money? Is it not the easiest cards in the world to sell if you change your mind? Or what if a 9 comes along and you've got an 8 and you just want to get out of the 8 and into the 9? Do you know how easy it is to get out of a PSA 8 Michael Jordan insert or parallel from the 90s? It is it's like the easiest.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to pump Jordan because I'm not selling Jordan. But the fact is, if I collected any other player, I mean the biggest, Shaq, Kobe, anybody you can name, at the time when I was collecting in the mid-90s, late 90s, early 2000s, everything's down.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's down other than Jordan. Shaq rookies. I mean, I wasn't collecting in 92, but I know Shaq rookies were nuts. I mean, I'm trying to think. Grant Hill, obviously, we know his stuff was crazy, dude. Chris Webber's stuff was crazy. All this stuff was crazy in the 90s. But
Jordan's the only one that's kind of withstood time. I mean,
yeah.
And it's getting more and more popular. I mean, look, kids nowadays, they've never seen Michael Jordan play. They've never seen Babe Ruth play, but it's the same idea.
Yeah.
It's,
I feel no anxiety buying Michael Jordan cards. Let's put it that way. I felt a great deal of anxiety, even investing in Giannis, investing in De'Aaron Fox, investing in Doncic, and doing all those cards where I did make a lot of money doing that. I played the same flip game everybody else played. I'm not this genius. Those days are sort of over, but I played that game. And I did feel anxiety because I knew it was all like there was a fuse that was lit, and you only had a certain amount of time because they just printed too many of the damn cards. And with Jordan, there ain't no secrets. Like, we're looking at the pop. I mean, we know what the pop's going to be. Is it going to go up 10%? Fine, maybe. Who cares, right? It's not going to double, triple, quadruple, right? I don't even want to talk about Wembanyama on this channel because
I was going to say you got to, because I mean, that's somebody I would totally invest in, but there's so much out there right now, and the pops are going crazy.
And I hate it. I hate it for the hobby because, like, and it's the same thing in soccer. There's other players in soccer, and there's players in other sports, of course. You want to jump on board. You're like, I think that's the guy. I want to be part of it, and that's what we do. That's why we prospect, is we want to be along for the whole ride, right? We want to be along for the whole ride. I think Wembanyama's transcendent. I think he's special. I think he's one of a kind, alien. I can't buy a card. I just can't do it. I cannot get past the financial, the illogical quantity that are out there. It just doesn't make sense. I know for a fact every single card that you see sell will be worth less in 1, 3, and 5 years. I know it. If Luka Doncic cards went down, trust me, Wembanyama cards are going to go down because Luka's got 5 first-team All-NBAs, and it ain't like Wemby's winning any titles anytime soon. He needs a lot of help. I don't know. That's just my thought. Josh, do you know what he means, number one, when he says Priest Lauderdale?
Priest Lauderdale.
He's just a shitty player from the 90s. His PMG Green just sold for some stupid number. He's referencing that. Let me see if I can find the Priest Lauderdale.
Yeah, no, I do not know this. So
watch, Josh. I'll show you. This just goes to show you that set collecting is alive and well. This gentleman, who you've never heard of, most people haven't either, his PSA 5 PMG Green just sold for $7,800. But here's the funny thing, number one. I don't know if you knew this. I talked about it today on my PWCC recap video. Watch this. That card actually is sold for $11,407 in October of 2023, and it's the exact same card. 285 cert number, 285 cert number. So while it looks like this great story, yeah, while it looks like this great story, it actually sold for like $4,000 or $3,600 less than it did just like 8 months ago. So it's actually a sad story. But either way, $7,800, $11,000, that's a lot of money for a Priest Lauderdale card. All right, let's move on. Ultrastars Gold on the decline. That's the next on my list. What happened and where did it go? It disappeared. Let me go pull it up. Ultra Stars Gold Jordan. And when I say Ultra Stars Gold, let's look at the 9.5 because I think that's sort of the sweet spot for high-end collectors. Look at this over the last 2 years, Josh. We're talking about this absolutely. This is a phenom, tier 1 card, gold embossed, 1 in 28,800 pack odds. BGS 9.5 gold label matches the gold card. This card's got a lot going for it, okay? A lot going for it. It's really hard to find anything bad to say about this card.
It's my favorite card in the hierarchy.
It's down 51% over the last 2 years in a BGS 9.5 grade. We're seeing some of these other cards go bananas. What are your thoughts on that? Is that a temporary thing? I'll tell you. I'll also tell you. I bought one for $32,500 in a private sale. It's a BGS 9.5 quad gem, and I've never felt better. I felt like I know this sounds crazy because it's $32,000. It's a BMW. I felt like I stole a tier 1 card. I've never felt that I was closer to the bottom on a big Michael Jordan card than when I bought this card on your screen in a quad gem for $32,000. I just thought it was amazing.
I think there's 2 things I can point to. One, it's BGS.
Yep.
Because we're going to look at PSA in a second. The pop has not risen from 5, and there's been no sales for – it's a different story.
Yep.
But the other thing is a lot of 9.5s, admittingly, mini gem, true gem, whatever, gem plus, a lot of them have flipped around. And we know some of the people that have been selling those and buying them in quantities, right? So similar to a LeBron RPA, when you see them every week and every day and every month they're selling, they're naturally going to go down.
Yeah, it's too many. When even the most important cards, when too many hit the market, it has a deleterious effect. I don't mean to make everybody at home sad. The last PSA 10 sale was in 2018 for $8,988. Ouch. That is scary. The BGS 9.5 has hit a high of 102,000. I know who bought that one and that one at 98, and probably these next two. He liquidated them down here. You know, it's kind of a sad story, part of the hobby, though.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite cards because it's just the epitome, like the GER, the Golden Boss Refractor. They literally just scream 90s, right?
Yep.
Now, you know, I love that card. I don't know what a 10 is worth now. We'll see. You know,
we'll see.
No one hasn't come to sale, so I'm curious.
Over under the next PSA 10, 50 grand.
PSA 10? Over.
PSA 10.
Over.
I say over. I say between 50 and 60.
Yeah.
I say over as well. Just there's 6 of them. We haven't seen it in 6 years, Josh.
You mean a BGS 9.5 with a Pop 19, more than almost quadruple as many, sold still for 30 grand, right?
That's right. Yeah.
So it's easily over 50.
35. I agree. If we apply the typical, well, not that there's a typical one on cards like this, but if we apply that PSA 10 premium, it's going to sell for 2x. It might push 70, Josh. Yeah. All right, let's talk about this card. This card, nobody's ever seen one of these, right? 86 Fleer, 57, PSA 10. Let's throw out the last sale. We're here talking about this card because the last one sold for $292,000. That is a $124,000 jump over the last sale, right?
Without a sticker.
Welcome to 2024 in the basketball card hobby in the Jordan world. If you take out that 292, this card was actually over the last year down about 60 grand, something like that, 50, 60 grand. Then this $292,000 sale comes out at around the same time as the $925,000 PSA 9 sale. And then everybody screams about this when nobody talks about the PSA 9 Star 101 sale. What do you make of the 292? If you had a PSA 10 86 Fleer Jordan right now and somebody offered you $250,000, $40,000 less than the last sale you're selling.
Yep. I can buy one right now for 200. I don't know why this one for 292.
I'm thinking about playing your little NBA sticker trick on mine. I see no reason not to. You know what I mean?
I sent I actually did not send my in. My 10, although it's a 10, is not NBA worthy.
Yeah.
To be fair.
I think mine is. Mine's a good one. Mine's a really clean copy. I don't say that very often. Most of my cards, I'm looking for the next level down, not to pay the premium, but the 10 that I got's a really nice copy. Of course, I bought it before it exploded. So I'm with you, Josh. Like somebody the other day is like, I'm looking for a PSA 10 Jordan Fleer. I was like, well, I'll listen. You know, it's one of those deals where I'm considering thinking about possibly listening to an offer. You know, how people do that. And he's like, well, what are you looking for? I was like, dude, you tell me. I've got 2 sales, 168 and 292. I'm not going to bid against myself, and I'm certainly scared to death. I don't know what the card's worth. I have no freaking clue. I know this. I think I have decided I'm going to throw an NBA sticker on it to try to distinguish it from other PSA 10s. It's a free shot. I mean, it's not free, but like pretty damn.
One of the best cards to do it on because there are a lot of 10s, obviously.
That's right. Let's get some more stuff from the chat before we move on to the Scoring Kings Plus. Inserts are truly rare. If you wanted them, you can't really buy them quickly. Yep, most of them, some of them, depends. Laugh my ass off. Not even his highest sale to date. No, it's not, because we saw the other pre-Slaughterdale that sold. Can't buy a PSA 10 or that card for $75,000. I think he's talking about the Ultra Stars Gold. Simon's in here. Data-driven Simon. Let's see what Simon says. Is it just me, or does VGS 9.5 Gold label look better as a label match than the PSA 10? It pairs better. Simon, I'm with you, dude. I loved paying half of the PSA 10 price and getting the color match on the label. Simon, another card that you need to look at, because I know you collect Jordans on a high level. Look at the Molten Metal Fusion in a BGS 9. It's also a color match, right? The silver BGS 9 matches with the silver Molten Metal Fusion. That's a good-looking card as well. And then Josh Hart said, I heard it was a fairly high-end copy and recently graded. Still don't feel that deserves the attention kind of premium. I think he's probably talking about the PSA 10. It was a really new label, and I think a lot of people were trying to explain it with that. But I'm like, dude, the card's a card.
It didn't even have a picture of them. Like, it didn't have a top 5 eye appeal, didn't have a top 10 eye appeal.
I mean, dude, there could be another one in an old label that looks just as good. They sold it on Golden,
right.
so you're gonna have a.
Here's the question: what does the next PSA 10 Jordan rookie sell for? Fleer.
If you ask me, do I think the 292 will have an effect? I do. I think it will sell what everything else is. I think it's going to be between 200 and 220. That's just me. If you look at this chart, there's been 19 sales over the last year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Exactly half have been over 200. Exactly half have been under 200. And you can see on here, the average sale is 207. Of course, that's skewed by these two freakishly monstrous sales of 372 and 292. So I would say if you threw the two highest and the two lowest out, your average is going to be probably just a shade below 200. That's what I would say. All right, let's get on. Jeff says 230. I think you're right, Jeff. I think maybe 200 to 220. It depends on the copy, man. It could be an off-center copy. There's PSA 10s where when you look at it, you're like, oh, those edges and corners look good, but it's a little bit off. You know what I mean? 86 fleet. Yeah. Next card we're going to discuss. Oh, I meant to ask you about this. You got to choose for your collection, and I can't remember which ones you do or don't own. Molten Metal Fusion. This is serial number to 40, Josh. Tier 1. 1998 PMG Gold, serial number 250. 180 for the Fusion in a PSA 8, 168 for the PMG in a BGS 9. Those grades are probably what and what, right? BGS 1 higher than the PSA. It's kind of like comparing apples to apples, pretty much green apple to red apple, we'll say. Which one? You got to have one in your collection. Which one? First of all, do you own either one of these?
Yeah, I'm both.
Got them both, you son of a bitch.
So I get asked about the Fusion Titanium a whole lot more than any other card. And I know it's really rare, and it's numbered to 40, and it's rare, period. Yeah. Aesthetically,
let's get this
by far, I love this guy.
Really? I agree. I don't know what it is.
I like the picture better. I like the refractor finish to it. You know, it's a great card. It's numbered to 40. It's die cut. It's got the pinholes. I mean, I go with aesthetics. So I'm with PMG, but the truth is, the Fusion Titanium is probably the rare card.
Is your Fusion Titanium a 9?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And these are pretty close too, because that's an 8.5 and a 9. So
yeah. It's like a $250,000 card, the titanium, right? Fair? Probably. Yeah. There's not a lot of those to go around. So that's a wild card that we just saw on the channel. What's up, CV? Welcome to the show. Patrick, what was the sticker they were discussing? Sorry, we were talking about a couple of stickers. We were talking about the NBA Black Diamond Noise Boys that Josh is selling on PWCC Premier right now. And then what else? CB Sports Cards, yeah. Sheesh, Swish. These are guys just everybody knows everybody. So cool. Swish Rips is chilling like a villain. Awesome. Love it. What else? Amazing stuff, Josh. Yes, Josh has got lots of amazing stuff. There is no doubt about that. If you don't believe me, go watch all of those Hierarchy Project videos. All right, what do we have next on our discussion? We talked about it. The Scoring Kings plus PSA 10. Let me get you on screen share. Here's the card we're talking about. Everybody knows the 93 Ultra Scoring Kings. It's a tier 2 card on the Jordan hierarchy. This is the 1996 Ultra Scoring Kings plus. So it's an insert parallel, and it is a crazy low pop 6. But Josh, is it would you put it in your top 50 Jordan inserts and parallels from the 90s? I mean, throw out the grade. Seriously,
Yep.
I wouldn't.
No.
Josh, I don't know if it would be in my top 6.
It depends on it depends on the individual. It's a great card, but for me, I'm a big color guy. Like the refractors, I like the die cuts. Those are my 90s cards that I'm drawn to the most. So
yeah,
it probably would not in that perspective. But I got them both here. I just want to show you. So obviously there's a regular version too.
Yes.
The regular version is kind of flat, right? It's just paper. This one does shine. It's crazy because it's got this foil finish to it.
Yeah.
Hard to get in the light, but it's really foil everywhere. It's got the K down here that's in gold. That's how you can easily tell the difference. But I mean, it is much nicer than this guy, right?
Do the grades of those two cards add up to 20? True or false?
True.
So in the last 75 seconds, Josh has flashed over $500,000 worth of cards. Awesome. That makes me really excited about collecting Jordan. PSA 10. This is the reason we're talking about the card. The last time the card sold was in 2020, September of 2020, when the world was in chaos. Cards were going bananas. The Last Dance had just happened. It sold for $11,880. Last, what is that? Maybe a month and a half ago, almost right at 2 months ago. Wait, June, May, yeah, almost 2 months, a little over 2 months ago, or almost 2 months ago, 33,600. Too much, Josh? Too much on the PSA 10 premium? You tell me. Here's the deal. Let's do some quick math. BGS 9.5, same pop. Well, that's not going to help because it hasn't sold in forever. Let's go to PSA 9. $3,000. So 12 PSA 9s, which 12 don't even exist. It's a 12-to-1 ratio, pretty much.
Yeah,
Let's say 10-to-1.
Yep. 10 times is too much.
Too much, Josh. And I know you love it because you got a 10. I get it. I mean, it's hard for you to stay objective.
Yeah, it's hard for me to not sell some of these guys right now. I mean, I got this graded in 1998. It has an old label. I've had this for absolutely ever, right? Would I be okay with a 9? Probably.
Yeah. David, welcome to the show. David's an awesome viewer of the show and a very engaged viewer of the show, which is awesome. Craig says the card doesn't hit me that hard. Me neither. And again, no offense to Josh. He's got $70,000 worth of that card right there. But so hold him up. Yeah, Josh showed him at the same time. It's like a premium player. No offense to anyone who has that, but it's overvalued and overrated. That's where you lose me, Craig. That premium player, number one, I own the card, so I'm going to take offense to that. Okay. No, I'm just kidding. I like the premium player. I would put the premium player above the 96 Scoring Kings and the Scoring Kings Plus. Would you put the premium player above it?
The premium player above the Scoring Kings?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not by a lot, but probably.
Somewhere.
Josh, David noticed on one of my recent mail days, and I told you how excited I was because this is your card, right? The Gravity Denied. I picked up a 9.5. You have how many PSA 10s are there? You have a PSA 10, I think, right?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's maybe how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. Not very many. This is the stuff that we can do on this channel, guys. Watch this.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Josh will pull that out because he's got every card he owns right next to him. There's my Gravity Denied 9.5. There were 2 of them. Josh has 50% of the world's population. So here is your population report for that Gravity Denied. There's 6 9.5s, David. There are 2 PSA 10s. Josh has a 10 and I got a 9.5. I'm feeling pretty good about that card. I think I overpaid pretty substantially for that card, but willingly did it because there's just not that many of them out there. There's just not that many of them out there. Swish Rips, move to the side quick a minute to show off that wall piece back there. My goodness. Oh, yeah, Josh, just lean. Yeah, it's a pretty cool one. The ball's coming out of it, isn't it, Josh?
Breaking through upper deck.
Yeah, you can palm the ball because it's like half the ball is coming through. That's a pretty cool one.
I got the LeBron one there.
Yeah.
And I got a couple other ones, but they're the breaking through pieces that Upper Deck Authenticated did a long time ago.
Yeah. Josh, Pair Bomb 69, which sounds like a really naughty name. I don't know what it means, and I'm glad I don't. You have the Special Forces in all 3 variations. I'm under the impression there are 2 variations. Somebody educate me if there are 3. I know there's the foil and the no foil.
I was going to say I have the foil and the no foil in 10s. I don't have the members only.
There's a members only. Is there the members only is the no foil?
No foil. No foil.
Okay. Complicated. So there's your answer. Yep. That's so sick. The wall piece is off the chain. It is cool. Yep. Members only. Yeah. Raw Jordan Collectors pointed it out. I didn't know there was members only. I guess I should have known that. I was stating.
Yeah. I think I don't even know if I own it. If I do, it's definitely not a 10.
So we talked about the Scoring Kings Plus. Everything we said about the Scoring Kings Plus, I can reiterate about this card, right? This lenticular piece here, the 96 Thrill Seekers. Again, one of the hardest cards in the hobby to take a picture of, right? Just like the 93 Ultra Scoring Kings. This is a great picture of it. I'm not sharing it there. I caught it. See how much I'm getting better? That's actually a really good picture of it. Mine looks super darker. That's a Pop 18, so there's more of them than the Scoring Kings Plus that we looked at. But this is another card that's basically given the middle finger to 2022 prices, and this card has jumped 21.5% from one sale to the next. So from October, about what is that, 8 months ago, 9 months ago, from 20 grand, jumped to a pretty substantial 25,200 on the PWCC Premier, Josh. Pop 18 card, tier 2. Is it tier 2 or 3? I can't remember, Josh. I can't remember, but it's either tier 2 or 3. Yeah, it's right there. Huge jump there. Just another example of another Jordan card. I think, Josh, that's the all-time record. I'd be crazy if it's not, by far. It's just one of those cards where, other than a couple of small exceptions, it's never stopped going up. These are the kind of graphs that are wonderful. They don't ever even reset. They don't take a backseat. They don't saturate. It nonstop goes up. And you mentioned this, Josh. Since 2018, it's sold maybe 8 or 9 times, right? It's sold 21 times ever since 2009. In 15 years, it's sold 21 times. You're barely getting one a year. That is crucial to a predictable up and to the right graph, in my opinion. If this card had sold 41 times
in 2011, so that 2011 is mine.
$696.99 a hole. That is what Josh paid for that card.
I did.
Paid for that monster.
The advantage of liking Michael Jordan in 2011, I guess.
Dude, you're telling me. I'm playing catch up here, and I can't get to the finish line. This is not going to happen. That's why we're talking about these things. All right, continuing along on the same trend, this card is haunting my dreams because I really, really like it more than I should. There's something about the pinstripes. There's something about just the name of the card that I like. There is a gold variation, which usually when there's a better, bigger brother version of a Jordan insert, you don't see the little brother or the JV version, the base full court trap, do stuff like this, right? You don't see the Star Power Plus go nuts, when there's a Star Power Supreme. You don't see a Molten Metal Fusion go crazy because there's a Molten Metal Fusion Titanium. It's just one of those, the Ultra Stars versus Ultra Stars Gold. Well, this one's an exception, man. This full court trap, I put a minus gold on here to make sure we don't capture it. Josh, the card sold 35 times in history. If we sort by price, in 2019, it was a $256 card. In 2022, it jumped to $12.5. I thought that was a joke. I assumed that did not get paid. And here we are, 21 months later, and it sells for $13,200. Thoughts on that price?
Population. The population never grew. And I don't know that it will. It's a very hard card to gem because it's all foil.
2.6% gem rate, Josh.
It's not only all foil, the back is black. And so that's what really makes it really tough to gem.
Craig from socials. Craig, on Instagram, tell Vamsi what your Instagram is. I think it's NBA Cards AU or something like that. He's a great follow on Instagram. Go follow Craig for sure. Craig will post it. He'll post it in here in the live chat in just a second, Vamsi. So what, I guess this leaves people like me looking for a PSA 9 placeholder, man. Again, we'd like to look at that ratio between 9s and 10s. So the 10 just sold in PWCC Weekly. I got obliterated. I had no chance to win that card for $13,200. Your PSA 9 is a $525. That's the record sale price. It last sold for $336. That is a 65x, Josh. 65.
Yeah. I think part of your question about why does the little brother get so much attention is because in this case, they don't look hardly any different. It's almost hard to tell the difference.
Well, you can tell them, and you did a great job of explaining it on the hierarchy videos, but it doesn't necessarily look better. It looks different, but it doesn't necessarily. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, that's the great air.
They look identical right now.
Let's
right?
show them.
They're hard to tell.
Yeah, greenish versus bluish.
This is blue and this is green, and that's it. I mean, they're not that hard to tell apart. So, I mean, there's a little gold. There's like gold in the middle of this green, the bronze, whatever. But other than that, they're not too distinguishable.
Josh, just to put it in perspective, the full court trap gold last sale is lower than the full court trap regular.
Yep.
Something's wrong. Hang on. Yeah, it's giving me the wrong pop on that one.
When's the last sale on the gold though?
I don't know if it's correct because it's giving me the wrong pop. It says gold, but when I click pop, it's wrong. The last sale was November 5th, 2023. It's not that long ago, Josh. It's eight months ago.
No.
It sold for almost the exact same price. I feel like I'm getting something wrong on these gold prices, and it's not pulling up the pop report. We got to go to the PSA website. So let's get back over here. What else? Chipping. Yep, chipping for sure on that one. 97 Ultra Star, PSA 10 up for grabs on the PWCC. It'll break another record. It's over 9,000 already. I paid the premium on that one, David, and I picked up the PSA 10 Ultra Stars regular. So I will be happy to see my lunacy substantiated and buffered by somebody else coming in and paying 5 figures for that card, the little brother.
Substantiated, yes.
Yeah, exactly. I would think the good is even harder because the gold is even harder because it's embossed. Yeah, the gold probably is harder. I can't pull up the pop reports. It's just not that important. Can you compare the full court Little Big Brother with the triumvirate cards? Where you at? I mean, I would say the triumvirate card pack odds are way tougher, especially the Illuminators, right? Way tougher.
The Illuminators are the toughest non-numbered Jordan insert period ever. Pack odds.
Pack odds. Wait.
They're the rarest non-numbered Jordan insert.
Why is it? You mean by the total number that have been graded? Because the pack odds for the Ultra Stars Gold is like 28,800.
And what is the?
I think the Illuminator's like 10. I thought it was like 10,000 something. It's on the.
But how many were actually produced? There's. Hold on.
That's what it is. There's a lot more packs of Ultra. That's why. That's what it was. Okay, I remember.
Actually, I got to find the number, but there's only like 64 or something stupid, ever made of the Illuminators.
You're right. Let's see if we can find the pack odds. Well, this is going to be a pain in the ass.
I was going to try to find my little cheat sheet too, because I know the Illuminator pack odds were not as high, but it's literally the rarest in terms of how many are out there.
Yeah. I think it should be in tier 2 up here somewhere, right? The Illuminator made it into tier 2. I can't find it. My eyes are too old. But whoever's got the poster at home can get it. If you're interested in buying one of these posters, Michael Jordan collects Josh Dawson cards. If somebody's interested in buying the poster, just message me on Instagram, please. Yeah, there he is. NBA card _cards AU. CVS sports cards. There are not a lot of them graded. That is a fact. All right. What else? Okay, that's it. So now we're on to, kind of the purpose of the Hierarchy Revisited videos is like you and I just kind of like to share with people the cards that we've picked up. I'm going to put you on screen first, and let's see some of your cards that you've picked up that are Hierarchy cards since the last episode, which was, Josh, is over a month ago for sure.
I'll be honest, there's not many that are Hierarchy cards. I'll go through my pickups anyway. The ones that are Hierarchy cards are bigger ones, though. This is one of them. Level 2. Number to 25. So this one's a die cut bottom and top over here. Number to 25, as you can see right down here in the corner. Happy to have this. And then
who did you get that from? Because that card was offered to me and I passed because it was a big number and I was like, I got bigger fish to fry. It's a rare piece for sure. Was it Justin? Jesse?
Yes, Justin.
That's right. It was Justin. That's right. Because he offered that to me after I picked up 2 other big cards. I'm about to show.
I just don't know if I'm ever going to see it, honestly.
I know. And I told him, I was like, Justin, I would love to, but dude, you just sold me. You just sold me 2 other huge cards. I was like, I can't.
He had a ton of 101s too. That was the one I picked up. I'd rather have that than a 101, only because I'm a 90s nerd, whatever. This is the other one that didn't make the Hierarchy because it's 2002, but Again, number to 25. It's a Photo Effects. This one is a masterpiece version, so it's a little tougher. And then I hate to say it, but a lot of these are not going to be hierarchy cards, although that I'm happy to have in a PSA slab.
That's the jersey number 23. Josh, explain to the people why that one's special.
So this card is obviously number 45 in his jersey. This one was a prototype. It has coating on it that's not peeled. It has slashes across it. It's hard to tell, but it was supposed to be cut up, and it never was. You can kind of see in the silver there, the lines going across it.
Yeah.
Go all the way across the card. And PSA decided to finally acknowledge this card. It's only been BGS previously, and although it's only authentic, it's a really rare one. It's tough to find.
So that card is Jordan in his 45 uniform, right?
Yeah, and they don't make a refractor. This one, like the other one, it's just a regular,
Yeah.
But prototype with 23 before they switched to jersey. The other ones, I showed this to you earlier, just a jersey, again, a little bit later years than the hierarchy. Another Wizards jersey I picked up recently, even at 7. I just got it graded myself. Just picking up low numbered. And then going back to the 90s, here's some funky things. I'm just filling holes. Space Jam stickers, golf, Space Jam lenticular cards, and then like stickums from Collector's Choice, but it doesn't show. It just has the white outline of Michael Jordan.
Yep.
And then the last things are new cards. So these are like brand new 2021, 22, 23. This one's obviously cut above.
Yeah.
So that one's a tough one, but same kind of names they had in some of the old 90s inserts. They have a Golden Touch one out that's out right now. It's pretty cool. It's all die cut. So I like some of the 2000s cards as well, but hierarchy wise, honestly, the only other cards I picked up are some of the 98 sets, Cool Air, Extreme Air, things like that are part of those 98 sets of Michael Jordan cards.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to finish those. I think I'm 1 or 2 cards away from the quadruple diamond, 1998 black diamond, quadruple diamond. So just trying to finish up those sets, but don't have as many hierarchy holes to plug.
Yeah. Josh is playing a different game than most people because he's competing on the PSA set registry, PSA specifically, right? Graded cards on the set registry, super and master list. Josh, refresh everybody's memory. How many are on the super?
Super is around 6,300
cards, Jordan cards.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the master.
Just shy of that. I think it's in 5,800 or I got to look it up to be honest.
Yeah. And the master is playing years only.
Master is playing years only, so it stops at 2003. Super includes everything up to last week, whatever they put out.
Does the master include 99, 2000, 2001? Or...
Yes. Yeah. I don't think there's a gap. I think they just include it up to 2003.
Up to 2003. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. So just before the second retirement is basically, yeah. That's awesome, Josh. All right, let me get y'all over to screen share. We'll go quick through some of these. I'm just going to click it. I create shareable links on PWCC. It's easy to share. It's not as good as in hand, but for sharing purposes on a screen, it's great. For sharing purposes, like look at how cool this card is. It's not because it's 2D versus 3D with Josh. This is a bitch in 10, so I've decided to pick up a PSA 9 placeholder. I think it's a tier 4, Josh. Not rare at all, but pretty damn tough and pretty damn expensive in a PSA 10. Let me shrink this a little. Okay, cool. Next, I picked up. I'm not even going to ask you to explain this stupid card. I'm not even going to talk about it. I don't want to know the 9 different variations. I just picked up the refractor PSA 10. It's the paperback one, so I guess that means I don't even want to start. I'm not even going to talk about protector and this and that. I know it's a tough card. I know it's pretty nice in PSA 10, even in a PSA old label. So added that one to my hierarchy collection in gem mint condition. This is a big one. So this is a big boy card that I picked up the 97 Flair Showcase Row 1, and I paid up for it. It was really tough to come up with a price. I think I did bounce this off you and a couple of other OGs, including Frankie and Stan, and sort of, you know how we do, Josh. Sometimes we talk ourselves into like why I should pay what I pay, even though all of you were like, $3,000 less than I paid. I was like, well, it's one of those things,
That's a huge card, though. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a big one. It's a tier 1 card. It gets me closer. I now have 4 out of the 7 Legacy collection cards. I think I posted on Instagram if you want to go check them out, but a couple of PSA 10s. So 4 out of the 7, 3 more to go there. And then I think on the platinum medallions, I think there's 6 of those. Is that right? We can pull up the poster, but I think there's actually, let's go get that over with here. Let's go. I know where it is. Here they are. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6, right? 6. And I think I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I have 4 of the 6 platinum medallions too. I always kind of do you feel like those are kind of like together? They go together in the hobby, platinums and legacies. I don't know why I do. I mean,
obviously 2 of those are cheap, and then 2 of the other ones are extremely expensive, right? So
yeah, Yeah. So I picked those up in various grades. Wait, getting back. Okay, so I'll keep going. So yeah, this Legacy Showcase down here, you can see the blue foil. It's numbered 5 out of 100. I just think this is it's just an awesome looking card. It's got that shimmer finish to the front. PSA 9 is pretty high grade. I picked this one up. I was just happy to get the thing graded by anybody. I could care less. There's no way I'm hanging around waiting for a Gem Mint copy. So I was like, I'm going to get this thing in my collection, get it over with. If you guys don't know what you're looking at here, this is the Michael Jordan 1998 Ultra Unstoppable, and it's nuts. It actually opens up almost like a pop-up book or like an invitation, right, Josh? And I think we've seen them graded like this, closed up on the front, but then they've also been graded open as well, or no?
Yeah, I think they grade them open. I have it just like you're showing. I have the closed like this and in original form.
Yeah. Jordan Exchange is with us, another huge Jordan collector, another awesome big-time member of the hobby. We got 46 people listening live. That's pretty good, Josh. All right, moving along. Picked up the Unstoppable. Didn't care about the grade. Just wanted it slabbed. This one I was excited about because I had a PSA 9. And the easiest thing to do, with these hierarchy cards for me is it doesn't hurt as bad because I already had a PSA 9. I can change the color that I highlighted on my spreadsheet to a Gem Mint color, right? And so I buy the BGS 9.5, I sell the PSA 9, and it really didn't cost me that much more money. BGS 9.5 for Arena Stars is a pretty low pop card. I always kind of think of this card and the Hardwood Honors together, Josh. They remind me
because the hollow foil at the top, and
they do. They remind me of each other. So those two kind of remind me of each other. Arena Stars card right there, really cool. Hollow foil background. Picked up the poor man's version of the card you just showed, right? Mine's still nothing. Yours is still number 25. So a little different price tag, but picked up the Wild, right, from the Upper Deck Wild. This is just the base copy, but in a PSA 10. And then 1993 Stadium Club. This was kind of a big one, and this is a pretty damn low pop card. The 93 Stadium Club first day issue, PSA 10. Of all the cards, and I'm not here hyping them because I'm not selling this card, but I think first day issues, like I've said it before, I thought atomic refractors were a little bit undervalued, especially the non-PSA 10 atomic refractors, because there's not that many, not that many options, and then there's not a high print run. Okay, so I think atomic refractors were sort of undervalued in comparison to some other Jordan 90s inserts and parallels. And I think these first day issue parallels are undervalued, man. I know they're not sexy, right? It's just got a little foil stamp and everything else is the same. It's not that sexy.
I wonder what it represents, though. It's the first day they printed it, right?
Yeah. And the damn pack odds it's lunacy. The pack odds are really, really tough on those cards if you go look at them. And we know that they don't grade well, right? We know the state of
they're borderless, they're dark. Yeah.
It's the exact same card stock, if I'm not mistaken, right, Josh? It's the same card stock as the base. It's just got a foil stamp, same as the members only. So cool card there in a PSA 10. I kind of jumped at that one and made a move on that. I owned a PSA 8, a PSA 9, and a BGS 9.5. So this is one of the rare times where I was like, you know what, give me the 10 and I'll sell all of the other 3. So I moved all of those in PWCC weekly auctions. I use the promo code Cajun, by the way, all capital letters. 96 Stadium Club Class Axe Refractor. This one, I'm an idiot because I bought a second copy on accident. I don't know how I missed it, but I already owned a copy. I somehow bought a second one, so I guess I'm hoarding Stadium Club Class Act Refractors PSA 10. I don't know what I'm thinking, Josh. I don't know why I did it or how I did it. Of course, it's got Stackhouse on the back.
You have the Atomic?
I got the Atomic PSA 9.
Yeah, I mean, just pairing them together is like they're really nice in person.
I know. I'd love to have the Atomic PSA 10. It's a pretty big card, and it's just hard to find these cards without greening. I mean, this is as crystal clear as it gets.
Yeah, and these are really easy to tell if it's off center.
Oh, let me tell you, if y'all watch the cross country collection, I had one on the back. The front looked great. It didn't look this great, but it looked really good. I was like, that's a PSA 9. I turned it over. I looked at Stackhouse. You could only see 2 blue and white borders, 2 total. Like you literally couldn't see 2/4 of the borders on the back. And I was like, I'm going to grade it anyway. And you know what? They gave me a 7. I was like, I'll take a 7. Shit, that's great. Yeah. I'll take it because it really presents well on the front. Maybe I get an eye appeal sticker on my PSA 7. I'm just kidding. You can't get eye appeal stickers on 1996 cards. So refractor 10 there. I'm going to go quicker. Sorry. Come on. Fabulous 50s. I had the gold medallion PSA 10, added the normal version, right? Which is a hierarchy card. This is the big boy, right? So this is the base row 0. I picked this up from Justin probably days before you picked up that wild level 2 serial number 25. This was what put me out of budget for picking up the other one. So I picked this one up. A lot of people don't know the 97 Flair Showcase Legacy is tier 1. You'll also find this base row 0 in the hierarchy project because it is serial number to 250. And so for that reason, we included it. Should we have included it? I don't know. I don't know if it breaks the rules or not. I don't know. I mean, I think technically row 2 is the base and everything else is a parallel, but then in that case, we should have included all the other rows.
Yeah,
we might have screwed that up.
You do have to get this one relabeled.
Oh, why?
Doesn't say row 0. It says showcase.
It does. It does. And that's what they called these. It's actually showpiece. But yes, Flair Showcase is the product name. I think what they meant to put on there was showpiece, but even that would not be correct. It needs to say row 0.
It's supposed to be row 0. Yeah.
It needs to say row 0, and it doesn't. You're right. And then Platinum Medallion PSA 9. I was happy to pick that one up, right? Really affordable. If you stay away from the PSA 10s, the Platinums, especially the subset Platinums, and when I say subset, I mean not the true base 96 Ultra Platinum, which is very expensive. The subset Platinum PSA 9s are actually pretty affordable. PSA 8s even more so. This one, finding a 10 is, literally.
I'm happy with the 9.
You got a 9 too? Yeah, like the 10 is just stupid, right? And if it does come up, it's going to be thousands and thousands. It might go full court trap on us. Who knows? So I was like, give me the 9. I can live with that and check off a box. And this is where I really start dumpster diving. I went ahead and picked up all of the SPX in PSA 8. And then I've since replaced the Sky PSA 8. I mean, if I see a 9, I'm going to grab it. If I see a 9.5, I'll really be happy. A 10, I don't want to have to make that decision because there's the regular, the bronze, the Sky, the silver, the gold, and the grand finale. Luckily, I have the grand finale. I don't have any gold, Josh. I need to get a 97 SPX gold. I don't have
hard to tell the difference between a grand finale and a gold.
Yeah. If you turn it over, you can tell the difference.
Yeah.
96 game breakers. Everybody's familiar with the game. There's 2 game breakers in the hierarchy project. There's the Pippen and the Jordan from 96. There's the Rodman and the Jordan from, I think, Josh, 97.
97.
Rodman is much more rare, much more valuable. So I picked this one up for a titillating price. I was very excited.
Hard to tell, but I love the fact that there's a clear lightning bolt separating them all the way down. If you hold the card up, it's completely see-through.
Yeah. You can see it. It looks like a black line, but it's actually translucent, Josh. It's just got a black background. Yeah. And this is one, this is one of the downsides of vaulting. You can't really tell. It just looks like a black line down the middle, but if you're holding it in your hands, you can see through that little jagged lightning bolt or that tear. Pretty cool card.
Yeah.
Championship Heroes die cut, PSA 10. Grab that. That was a nice pickup. Check that one off. I had the Refractor BGS 10. So needed to pick up the base PSA 10, which is a shitty feeling. You've already got the big brother paying a big number for the little brother. It just doesn't feel good. I don't know. Does anybody else feel that way about this stuff?
Those Eddie Jones ones are hard as hell.
I know. We talked about that. I keep trying to help you out, and I'm like, no, you're like, I got all those. I just need this one, and I always forget and I always ask you again. 93 Flair All-Stars. We're going old school. Early inserts here. PSA 10. Nice to check that one off. I love the old school early inserts. Speaking of little brothers, the base version of the same
Stackhouse Jordan Class Axe card here. So I've got the base 10, the refractor 10. I've got a members only 9.5, and then I've got an atomic PSA 9. So that's my Class Axe family. I think this might be one of my maybe 2 or 3 most recent pickups. I put this one off for way too long, and because I'm so scared about buying fakes or whatever. This one's real. I did verify it. It's got the squared off corner there, and it's a 9.5 mixed gem. Price wasn't too bad. I like this card, Josh.
Yeah, you know what? I know the Z-Pete's the one everybody wants, but to be honest, this just is so much brighter.
Looks better. The Z-Pete's more rare, lower pop. I just think this one looks better. Z-Pete is still on my list. I got to go pick it up. I don't have it. So Z-Pete's coming in the near future. Gravity Denied, we talked about it, 9.5. There's 6 of them. There's one. You've got the 10. Placeholder here, PSA 9. I hate coating, but this one's got coating. These all look green to me. I don't know what's going on. I picked up the 9 as a placeholder until I get a 10 at some point. There's the silver 9 that replaced my 8, another placeholder. This is a big one. So Platinum Medallion. And this one is serial numbered to 36 out of 100. You can see down there at the bottom. Again, Josh, they're just not that expensive.
Yeah, I was going to say I'm missing either this one or the GER one, whatever it is, the other one that's cheaper, the cheaper platinum. I'm missing one of the 2 platinums. It's either that one or the green one next to it. Yeah.
Here, step it up.
Yeah, step it up. I think that's the one I'm missing. But I'm missing one of those 2, and I just need to get it like in an 8 and just be done.
These three guys, if you're looking at on your screen, the 98 greats, the step it up, and the ultra effort, all those sound like inserts. They're not. They're subset cards. All of them, right? All of them are subsets.
Yeah,
right?
They're all subset, and they're all platinum. But unlike the 96 on the other side and the 97s on the other side, those are massive cards, right?
Those are huge cards. Those are much more expensive. If there was a tier 2 and a tier 2.5, there would be a distinction, but there's not. So I put them all together. Just easier to digest and visually digest. That's those. Where was I? Sorry, let's keep going. I'm slowing down here. As you can see, I've picked up a lot more because I had a lot more needs on my list. And I sold hundreds and hundreds. In fact, I've sold probably 3,000 cards since the last hierarchy episode that we did. I know that sounds bananas and it sounds like I'm lying, but I'm not. 97 SPX Hollow View Heroes, picked up the 9.5, which I love. 9.5 min gems as far as the value goes. And that is a tough card. That's pop 6, that card is. And really like that card. I don't know much about it, but I like that card. And that's it. That's it, Josh. So that's my list. That's all.
A lot. I mean, the legacy, I mean, that's a huge card.
I checked off a couple of tier 1s with the legacy, a bunch of tier 2s, and then a bunch of high grade stuff that I just, I wasn't sure the next time I would see the damn things, So not too bad. Anybody else? I said dumpster diving on PSA 8. Well, on some PSA 8, like that was a cheap card, right? The Sky 97 SPX PSA 8, that's a cheap ass card. Josh, what else? Anything else you want to talk about? We're at almost 90 minutes. I know you got a wife and kids and family to get to, and you probably got, I think you've only taken like maybe 11 or 12 vacations this year. You've probably got another vacation planned before the National. I know you said you're happy to be back in Jersey, and I don't think you're traveling at all really until.
No, not until the National. I'm not going anywhere until the National. I'm going to be there the whole time. I'll be there Wednesday through Sunday.
Okay.
I'm going to make it to preview night on Wednesday, and then, and then I do have a vacation after the National.
Of course you do. I am going to be at the National Tuesday through Sunday. Let's do this. Let's promise that we're going to do another one of these episodes before the National. The National is 50 days, a shade over 50 days away. Let's promise we're going to be consistent and pledge to do another one of these maybe in 30 days. How does that sound? It'll be shorter. We'll have stuff to talk about, but we won't add as much because I'm in sell mode. I'm selling to try to create a little nest egg. I need to get a star 101, Josh. In some grade. You
don't want the Prism Jewel instead?
I think that'll be the last hierarchy card that I ever buy. I'm trying to think of an uglier one. Maybe the Skyview, but I've already got that one. I bit the bullet on that alien card, Skyview. I think the Prism Jewel might take me a bit, man, to get comfortable with that price tag, given the woeful aesthetics. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to sell. I'm also I'm doing some crazy stuff around here. I had to buy 3 cars. I have a bunch of. I know y'all are like 3 cars. What's wrong? You running a commercial fleet? No, I've got 7 kids. I've got 5 teenage drivers, and I had. It's a long story. So I'm not buying as much. I'm doing quite a bit of selling. I'm not selling any of my unique Jordans. I am only moving forward in Jordans. So nobody needs to worry about that. You will see me sell Jordans, but that means they're duplicates or they're lower graded copies. I am not liquidating my Jordan collection. That is always moving forward. All paths lead forward on that. Josh, anything going on with you? You've got some huge cards in the PWCC Premier. I'm going to do this since you're always awesome enjoying the channel. I am going to pull up Josh's 2 cards on the PWCC Premier.
Yeah, I don't sell, so this is a unique experience for me.
You don't.
So
here is the card we talked about earlier. It is a freaking monster. It's at 23,000 pre-buyer's premium, so that's about a little over 27 grand right now. I think the all-time sales record was 33,600. This is going to obliterate that record. I'm calling my shot like Babe Ruth. Josh, you're going to do just fine on this card. And we kind of talked about your logical financial, posturing and maneuvering earlier, and it makes perfect sense. And I'm considering doing the same on some of my stuff as well and following your lead. That's card number 1. The other card, Josh, is I think all I need to type in is Jordan, LeBron,
Yep.
and we're going to get it. And we are. And guess what? Another black label, another NBA. I say black label. I meant black sticker. I'm sorry.
Black diamond,
yeah. Tell me a little bit about this card, Josh. How did it come into your collection? How many tens of dollars did you spend on buying it in the year 2005? Tell me everything about it.
I probably bought it in like 2010. Yeah, I don't even know what I could tell you. I could look it up, but I don't know exactly what I paid for it, but it wasn't a whole lot. What's crazy to me is this will go for half or less than the Noise Boys.
For sure.
And it has been touched by Michael Jordan, been touched by LeBron, and it's numbered.
Yep. Where's the number?
And it's a Pop 1.
Help me find the number, Josh, so I can show
I
people.
think you got to zoom in right in the middle there, in the front. It's numbered out of 50.
Am I blind? Oh, here it is. It's right under it's right here under the upper deck symbol. It really blends in. Is the card acetate, Josh?
Yeah, it's glass, kind of like a glass.
Yeah. It is number 35.
It's one card. Jordan and LeBron, they both touched it. It's numbered to 50. It's a Pop 1. And the fact that it'll sell for half as much as the Noise Boys is crazy to me.
Yeah. Well, you're going to do fine. You're going to have some spending money, so no excuses. We're going to walk the floor, and we're going to get you some of these Tier 1 Jordans when we get to Cleveland. Jordan Exchange said, just want to say thank you guys for the YouTube content. By far my favorite channel, hobby content. Thank you. Appreciate it. Can't tell you how much I appreciate your support. Dan Barley, same thing. Thanks for doing this. Yes, you will meet me at the National. No excuses, Dan. Get there. And come find me when you get there. That goes for everybody. Come find me and Josh when you guys get to the National and stop us. If we've never met you, let's meet. Let's shake hands. Let's talk about cards. Tell us what you're looking for. That's why I'm going for 6 days. I can't buy cards for 6 days, Josh. I don't have that much money.
Nope.
I'm there this year more than ever. I'm there this year to socialize, right? I'm going to be a social butterfly. I'm going to be everywhere. Waiting on the LeBron hierarchy. Josh?
I am not that far with LeBron, so
you don't have anything going on. You don't have a couple 100 hours you could spare to create
LeBron is definitely that JV versus my Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Raw Jordan Collector asking me about my Star Jordans. Yeah, I we actually talked about it maybe before you jumped on. We started the live stream a little early. All 18.5 of my Star Jordan cards are on the PWCC weekly. In fact, we can click it and I can show you guys what I'm talking about real quick. I guess if you can't hype your cards on your own channel, when can you hype your cards? Star Jordan BGS 8.5. It's in weekly number 126. It ends this Sunday. There are 18 of them and all 18 are mine, and all 18 of them are BGS 8.5. This monster has started to run. That's very surprising with 6 days left. That one ran early. The rest of them are still real cheap, guys. I think 8.5 is just the sweet spot on best bang for your buck for Star stuff. Just to let you guys know why I'm getting out of these cards.
I just realized I can't get to the full 25. I'm just not going to do it. There's no way. The Star 101 is a tier 1 hierarchy card. I'm going to take the money from the sale of these 18 and apply it directly and figure out, Josh, I'll probably pick your brain. I'm going to call our friend Ari. I might talk to Frankie, talk to some of these great star collectors out there that know 1,000 times more than me about these cards, and kind of pick their brain on what they think the sweet spot is. I don't want to go too low. I certainly am not going to overpay and buy a PSA 8 or anything like that. So I'm probably, Josh, going to end up choosing between an BGS 8.5 and maybe a PSA 7. Those are probably going to be my options. Put it in my hierarchy and say, you know what, let's put this to bed. I'm good to go on the Star tier 1 deal. And kind of go from there. I'd like to do it at the National so I can actually bring over some of you smart people and say, does this look good? What do you think? Yeah, what am I looking for? I know the left border and this and that. So that's kind of it. Pair Bomb 69. Check out the Hierarchy project videos. There's a playlist. We went through every single page of the Hierarchy in great detail. A bunch of episodes. Both of us share with you. Of course, I'm adding cards. Josh already had damn near all of them. But for tier 1s, I think I'm up to like 12 or 13 right now. Josh, you were around 11 or 12.
11 or 12, yeah.
Yep, 11 or 12, something like that. And the funny thing is, we each have cards that the other doesn't have.
Yeah.
If we
neither
put
of us in the greens, either green.
Well, we throw those out. Yeah, it's a myth. But if we put our cards together, we're looking pretty good, man. We got a lot of stuff checked off. So yeah, tier 1s are tough to come by, man, especially now. The BGS 9 101 and Premier is going insane right now. Is it really? I didn't even look at it. But
yeah, let's look at that.
Yeah, guys, these are the Star 8.5s. Let's go look at that real quick. Premier. Let's see what it's at.
You don't even have to go to the National. You just buy this one, right?
Yep. Star 101. Enter. Come on. Yikes. 110. No BP. So that's 132,000. Let's go see what the last one sold for.
It's a good catch.
Holy moly. Yes, you're right. That is going bananas. And Josh, this answers our question about whether that PSA 9 will have an effect. It is going to not break. Well, I don't want to say it's not, but this is going to be up there in the top 5 highest selling BGS 9s of all time for sure.
Top 3. Yeah.
Yeah. 9, 9.5, 8.5, 9.5. So, I mean, slightly better than average subs, Josh, I guess.
Yeah. That's tremendous. That's huge. I mean,
centering looks good, Josh. Josh, what are the odds that this is somebody thinking for one sliver of a second, just hoping beyond, their wildest dreams, maybe, just maybe this could cross to a PSA 9?
I know. I mean, the difference. I mean, I don't know where this is going to end, but it's going to be 4 times more for a PSA 9.
Wouldn't it be nice to make a quick $700,000 extra? Like PSA 9 is $925 now. Is that what we're really saying? Okay, let's just say it's $750. You can make $500,000 by just crossing the card over. Somebody's got to be thinking that, right? And that might be part of the logical thought process behind buying BGS 9s and BGS 8.5s. Who knows? You know what? We may get to Cleveland. I may be priced out again, man. 8.5s may run. Who knows?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, if this is already at 130, I mean, what's an 8 worth, BGS.
I'm not looking at that. We got to stop hyping this card. I got to get this card in my collection before we start hyping it on the channel. Neither one of us, forget that. That's it. I'm going to let you go. Get back to your wife and kids. I'll do the same. We will do this again in about 30 days. So early July, guys, look for us to do this again. If you've got any ideas, put them in the comments. We'll post this on the channel as well. Thank you guys for joining us. I think we got up to right at 50 people at one point. That's really good. Because I don't really do a good job of promoting this stuff. And Josh and I are not like, super Instagram wizards. So we just join us if you can.
Repost. That's all I do.
That's right. Just repost, share it. Thank you guys for watching as always. Josh, always thank you for coming on the channel. And we'll see you in 30 days. Keep collecting. Guys, stay positive in the hobby, and peace. Awesome, Josh.